that should surprise no one. From the New York Times, we're seeing that there is now a worker productivity score being implemented. Did did we not see this coming?
We saw it coming, but it's so terrible. It's so pointless. You've got both sides promoting their reasons why it should or shouldn't be done, and both of those sides worth of reasons are garbage. Neither one is telling the truth. They're all trying to hide what's really going on, and it doesn't even matter because it's still a bad idea regardless. One side is trying to say, "Oh, well, we want to get our money's worth and we want to make sure that the most productive employees are getting all of the rewards and promotions and that our customers are being treated fairly and that nothing illicit or uncouth is being done on our network or our company time." And then the other side is saying things like, well, they're not accounting for all of the other things that I do, like writing outside of the laptop or thinking or mentoring somebody or discussing something with the customer at length when it's not on a recorded call or via email. It can only really capture you in the sense that you're actively typing on the computer, or if they have a camera over your shoulder, it's only actively monitoring when you're sitting in its view, as opposed to maybe you walked into another room to get some paperwork that applies to what's happening. But all of that is bunk because the company, even if they manage to save something in the short term, all they're going to do is reward the wrong type of work because you don't really want to micromanage people to the point where you're only rewarding them off of like computer clicks with the mouse, because once they figure out the game, that's the only kind of work you're going to get out of them. You're not going to get any of the high level stuff. And then you're just going to end up burning them out, and you're not going to be able to retain the good employees because good employees don't need to be in that situation. And then from the employee side, it's just as much falsehood that's coming out of their mouths with their complaints, because they are going to slack off. They are going to do certain things that might be untoward, the company or the employees or whatever, while they're on working hours. And that's just a fact of life. It's always been that way. And the company owners are always still turning into millionaires. So it doesn't matter. This is just new age garbage that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to bother people for maybe 6 months or so until all the companies figure out that they're just losing people or not getting the type of work out of them that matters. And that's it. I mean, who really wants to be in their home with a camera watching them to make sure that they're working and they're still inside their house? So now they get a sneak peek inside your own personal home. It's ridiculous. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't need to be cameras. And I can see that you've got a lot of opinions on this, but we should have seen this coming when we started to say work from home, because you're right. There are a lot of people that they don't need to be micromanaged, but there's some that do, right? And it's also a disservice to the people that are working hard and they are putting in the work and they don't need a camera to have to do the lion's share of the work, because the other group aren't pulling their weight because they're busy watching television or they're not even in the room. They figure that someone else will pick up the slack. So, if you're thinking about it from that aspect, we do need some form of monitoring to make sure that the same group of people aren't getting burnt out because they're having to pull the weight of everybody. So, I do see the need for it now that everyone's working from home. Back when we were in the office, you could see when someone isn't pulling their weight. So we do need a new way of tracking this. And while I don't agree with the current workers' productivity score or the workers' productivity tool, like watching key clicks or if your computer goes idle or anything like that, while I don't see that as an effective way of tracking it, I do think we need, in this new world where everyone's working from home, we're absolutely going to need a better way of monitoring who is working to not burn out the ones that are doing the work.
Yeah, but even in the office, people would still slack off, right? Unless you're standing right behind them looking at their screen, they could be doing anything. They could be doing nothing. And even if you walk past them, it'll still look like work related, or they could be checking their social media or something. And then only if you walk past them would you notice something. But it makes no difference. You're always going to have some employees that don't do too much, some overachievers, some people who are just really, really talented but do a moderate amount of work. You're always going to get the grab bag, and you might as well just work with what you got and continue on. And if you want to cut some of the stragglers off, you can do that, but you don't need to have a camera, an AI monitoring software on the keyboard for keystrokes. You'll get the same metrics from customer complaints, from their direct supervisor who can't get them to do any work. It's you can use all of the tried and true methods. There's no need for this. This is just going to burn workers out, and it's going to exacerbate the situation that we're already in, which is hard to find people that want to do work and can do work. So it's just pointless.